Watching the instruction video will give you a good idea on how the boat is to be built. But the most important thing is to follow the instructions. Always have your instructions with you when you're building. We received our Kano-Yak frame kit in the mail. Now that we've opened the box, these are all the parts that come in the Kano-Yak frame kit. This here is a two-man kit. In the one-man kit, there would only be one rib, but all the other parts are the same with the exceptions of the different numbers. Okay, what we have here is we have a front and a rear aluminum part. We have numbers in sequence that will be put on the frame, which will dictate the shape of the frame. And each part has a number. In the instructions, it tells you exactly where that goes. You get all of the screws. You get screws that will screw this to the frame, and screws that will put the frame together. So with it here, you have everything you need, minus the material list that you will be buying from your local lumber box store. Let's take a look at what this looks like when all of these pieces are put together and it's a frame. Everything you need to build your Kano-Yak, most people have it around the house. You need 2 sawhorses, about 6 hand clamps. You need a good box cutter and a few extra blades. Tape, 25 foot tape, pencil, and a Sharpie felt pen. A caulking gun. You need a drill, and you need a bit that will drill the hole and countersink at the same time. This really makes things a lot easier for you and helps you not to split the wood. Framer square. You need just an inexpensive miter box, pair of scissors, and some tape. This is really all that you need to build your Kano-Yak. A stapler with the 1/4-inch staples also is very helpful. If you have one of those available, not necessary, but it does make it easier. And the last thing, which really makes things easy, is a hot knife. What this will do will help you tremendously to cut the styrofoam where you want to cut it. These run about 20 bucks, and it's a pretty darn good investment. It's amazing how much it will save you in time and make things look a lot better. It's important that you bring the material list with you to your lumberyard. To build the Kano-Yak, you need the Kano-Yak frame kit, which runs about $150, post-paid to you. You need one 1x6 by 12 poplar, number 1 poplar, cut into 6 strips. You need one 4x4 AC exterior plywood, 1/4 inch. You need 4 tubes of Gorilla heavy duty adhesive, 1 quart of water-based paint, 1 spray can of contact glue adhesive, 3 4x8 sheets of PVC, 1/6 of an inch thick, and you need 2 4x8 sheets, 3/4 inch thick styrofoam. And this is all you need to build your Kano-Yak. Everything you need to build your Kano-Yak, you can buy at your local box hardware store. Will run under $200, plus the $150 for the Kano-Yak frame kit. Under $400, and you have yourself a good boat that will last for years. We bought a 1x6, 12-foot long #1 poplar. Out of this, we're going to cut 3/4 by 3/4 12-foot long strips that will be used for the frame. What you have when you're done running all of this through, you'll end up with 6 strips of wood, 3/4 by 3/4, 12 feet long, and these will be what you use for your frame. And by doing this way, rather than buying them individually, you could save a lot of money. When you buy this board, it says that it's 12 feet long, but it's actually 12 feet and 3/8 of an inch. And that's good, because what you'll do is take a little bit off of each end so that you've got the ends square, and you want to make it exactly 12 feet. So you will take that 3/8 of an inch, a little bit off of each end, until you end up with 12 feet long. And it's important that these are exactly 12 feet long. So right now we have 6 pieces, all the exact length. We're going to take 4 of these pieces now, and we're going to use these 4 to get the length on the frame. Take one at a time. They should be all #1, but take it and check and make sure that it bends good and that there's no knots or weak spots anywhere. And you'll do this for all 6 of them, and making sure that they'll bow without breaking or snapping or having any kind of weakness in it. So you're just going to take four of those and do that. Save these other 2 for now. Now you've got the 4 12-foot pieces that you're going to be using. So you want to take a framer square and make sure that all 4 of those pieces are exactly lined up. And take a piece of tape and then check to make sure that they are lined up right. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other end, taping it. What we have on this is 4 pieces of wood that are the exact size, because all 4 of them were cut from 1x6. This one here is actually 2/16 past 12 feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to just barely take the ends off to make it exactly 12 feet. You can see that there's just a very small amount that we want to cut off there. But by cutting that off, #1, you're going to be exactly 12 feet is where you want to be. But also it gives you a fresh cut. And these 2 ends, it's this end that will meet with the 3-foot piece that you're going to attach and bring the 2 together with the angle iron. We're just going to be cutting off about a 1/16 of an inch off the end of this 3 by 3/4 by 3/4 strips. So you have to be sure that when you put it in the miter box, be sure to put a board that is going to make it level. Otherwise, what will happen is you're going to cut it, it's going to be at an angle, which you don't want. So whatever the distance is here, to make it cut square, put the same amount of board here to bring it up. And what you have now are 4 pieces, the new square cut here, and they're all exactly the same, 12 feet. For the 12-foot boat, we have 4 pieces that are 3/4 by 3/4, exactly 12 feet. What we need next now is we need 4 pieces of 3/4 by 3/4
that are 3 feet long. So we're going to take one of the 12 footers and we're going to measure down, and that will give us the little bit extra we need to make sure that we have 4 pieces that we're going to tape together and end up with 4 3-foot 3/4 by 3/4 strips. So what we have now is we have 4 pieces that are close to 3 feet, not exactly. The fresh cut end is here, so we're going to take our framer square, we're going to take it so that these are all exactly at the very end, and what we're going to do then is tape them together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to measure exactly 3 feet from here to here, use the framer square to make a line, and then we're going to cut that. And now we have 4 3/4 by 3/4, all of them exactly the same size, 3 feet. At this point, we're going to take our 3-foot piece and our 12-foot piece, we're going to marry them together. So you want to get them so that they're flush with each other. Take one of the angles, and this line, you will put it right on that line, rotate it over. There's a hole here. You'll take a drill bit, drill a hole in it, take one screw, it comes with it in the kit. Being sure not to strip this. Put it just tight, but don't turn it so much that you're going to strip it, because these will be taken apart again. Then when you rotate it over, there'll be another hole here, which you'll do again. Then you'll take this one, put it right up against it, turn it over, right up flush, and so what you have now is 3-foot, 12-foot, and now you have exactly 15 feet, and then you'll have 4 15-footers. We've attached our 12-foot pieces with the 3-foot pieces, and right now we have 15 feet exactly. And what we're going to do is we're going to bundle 2 together and start to put our marks where the numbered pieces from the kit are going to go. It's very important that before you start marking and you're going to tape these 2 pieces together, A and B have to be like this, C and D have to be like this. It's very important that these are taped like this. You're going to put them like that, and you're going to have A, B, B. These 2 here will be taped together. You'll have C and D. And these then will be all taped together. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your A and B bundle, you're going to make sure that the ends are exactly even. And what we're going to do is just tape these together. And you can do the same thing with your C and D. Making sure that they're both even, and that your C and D are like this, and your A and B are like that. You now have 2 bundles. You have A, B, and C, D taped together. And now we'll start measuring where your Kano-Yak parts are going to go that are going to dictate the shape of your frame. Now that A and B bundle and C and D bundle are taped together, starting from the front, you have A front top, B front top, and that's on the AB bundle. The CD bundle, you have C front bottom, D front bottom. The 3-foot piece should be in front of you and on your left. Then you'll go back to the end where you'll have, on the AB bundle, you have A rear top, B rear top, and the CD bundle you have C rear bottom, D rear bottom. And at this point you're going to take the A rear top and you're going to cut 1 inch off of the back of it. At this point you're going to take and you're going to measure 1 inch off of the A rear top. Mark a 1 inch mark. Take your framer square. Using your miter, then you will cut 1 inch off of the AB rear top bundle. Our first mark is on the AB front top measurements. We're going to start from front to rear, and we're going to measure 41 inches from the end, make a mark, square it with our framer square, and then we're going to put in bold print felt number 7F. Put our mark, 41, take our framer square, make a line, and do that on each side. And then when you're back to the top, the piece that goes here is number 7F. That's the part number that is going to go there. Once you've done 41, then you'll go to 45.5 inches, and you'll put number 4F. And you'll do that all the way down till you get to the end on your last measurement, which is 147 3/4 of an inch, where you'll be marking number 8R, and then you'll be finished with the AB front top measurements from front to rear. Then you'll go to CD bottom, and what you'll do is from the front to the rear, you'll make these measurements and mark the part number that goes there, just as you did with the AB. You'll do the same thing with the CD. I measured twice, marked off each one as I did it, and marked each measured number with the part number that will be attached there. Double check your measurements. When you're done, you should have your A front top, B front top, and at each designated measurement, you'll have number of the part that will be attached at that point, which will dictate the shape of the frame. Once you've done this to your AB, working from the front to the rear, then you should have all of those marks on. Once you have both bundles measured and marked with the parts that are going to be attached to that point, it's not a bad idea to just lay your tape measure down and just go back on your list and check each measurement just to make sure that it is right. And by doing that before you take your bundles apart, you'll find out if there are any mistakes. You'll be able to correct them. Right now you should be pretty much done with your marking, and it's just a good idea to double check those measurements and make sure that you wrote down the right part for the right measurement.
The next step, we're going to put on the front aluminum brace and the rear aluminum brace. Now to do this, we're going to have to take apart the 90-degree aluminum angles. All you have to do is just take one side off. As you can see here, we'll just take the one. Okay. Yeah, leave the 90-degree aluminum angle on the 3-foot piece. Here's how we assemble the 3-foot pieces to the front aluminum piece. The front aluminum piece could go either way. There's no upside down. To help, I usually take a 3/4 piece of wood that fits in here. Right now, we've applied D front bottom and C front bottom to your front aluminum brace. Takes 2 screws. You never want to tighten them too tight. Tighten them, but don't strip them. And keep them as parallel as you can to the metal. And the wood should be higher than the aluminum. Next, we're going to take the B front, goes here, the A front top goes here, and we're going to screw those in. Take a good look at your diagrams on your written sheets to make sure that you have them just like that. Now we want to do, to make sure you have everything right, A front top on the opposite side should be C front bottom. B front top on the opposite side should be D front bottom. At this point, we've put the 3-foot pieces to the aluminum front brace. We're going to put that aside. Now we're going to take the rear aluminum brace and we're going to screw the 9-foot pieces to this. In assembling the rear aluminum brace, number one, you want to make sure that these pieces of wood are up. On one side you would have A rear top, on the other side you would have B rear top. The way they fit is, these will be up against here. So you'll want this wood not to go past here. In assembling these, making sure that your block of wood is tight up against the inside, pushed here, your level is even, and I always like to drill one hole in the middle, put in a screw, and what that does then anchors so that you don't lose your alignment on the rest of them. Now that we have the rear aluminum brace attached to A and B, even with here, next we're going to take C rear bottom and D rear bottom, and they will also be attached. To screw these in place, you'll have to flip it over, making sure that these are facing you just like they were on the other side. Now that we've screwed C rear bottom and D rear bottom, we're now like this. Now what we have is we have the front and the back, and now we're going to show you how these are to be bent. Next we're going to take and bend this. Be sure that the wooden pieces are on the outside. This is the flat part. This is going to be folded in like this. This is going to be folded like this. And what you end up with is the beginnings of the front of the boat. What we'll do is you'll notice now you have A front top, B front top. This is why it's important that you have these labeled so that you know you have them in the right place. A front top, B front top, D front bottom, C front bottom. So for this you should be outside or someplace where you have a lot of room, and oftentimes you do need a little help with this one. I usually hold my feet here. Make sure that these pieces are up. These fold into these pieces. I usually hold my foot here and just pick up the one end, just like you did with the front. And someone will hold those there for you. At that point, you just hold your foot, pick the other end up, and at this point, you have your frame bent. One important thing that you notice, A rear top, B rear top. Okay, now that we've gotten this far, we've got the front and the rear bent, we're going to reassemble our 90-degree aluminum pieces. At this point, be very sure that your front tops and your rear tops are facing up, and that your A and A match, and that your B and B match. So what we'll do now is just reassemble these into the same holes as we had before, being very careful not to strip them. We've reassembled A and A with our 90-degree aluminum piece. We've got B and B assembled with our 90-degree aluminum piece. And now we're going to we're just going to rotate over to the other side. Now at this point, double checking, we have front bottom and rear bottom are together. Again, we have D and D, C and C. At this point here, we've put all of our 412 pieces together, and we have the beginning of a frame. At this point, you want to be sure to rotate it so that the top is on top. The next chapter, we'll be building this frame, and it shouldn't take any more than 3 hours to assemble and get to this point.